Okay. So I'm talking about me and Nikki. So I'm at University of Texas at Austin, and they want somebody to do a poetry contest. And this is like late 90s. And I'm like, nah. So I'm like, I put together a little proposal for them. I'm like, let's do a poetry slam. You know. But we want to bring out the energy. We want to bring out the spoken word artists. I was young, and so we put it out. And so, university put it all in the papers, and I'm thinking I'm gonna get a few poets. I got like 22 poets and musicians to come out to be in that slam. I mean, from 19-year-olds playing a flute, this is my poetry, to, spoken word artists that are like famous today. And so they're like, well, whoever wins your poetry slam, they get to open up for Nikki Giovanni on PBS. Oh my goodness. So I'm like, okay, all right, cool. We go through it. We get our winner, Mr. Zale Miller. And, he's an artist now doing his thing, teaching. And so we go and we do the slam. And then the next weekend is when the event happens. And, I'm kind of all jittery because I'm like, oh, they're going to open up for Nikki. Nikki, and I'm cool. But then I'm like, oh, she's here. And just to hear her get up there and speak and give us these empowering words, and my heart is doing this like boom, 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 boom. And I didn't know what it was, but it was just an awesome, beautiful spirit that she just brought to the stage, to the room. And so we all excited, and she gets up there and she speaks, and then they're like, Marla, we're going to go out. You want to go out? Because everybody didn't get a chance to go out to eat with them. And I was like, sure, I'll go out with y'all. I had never been to Ruth Chris' house. So I go in like a little youngin', like, okay. And Nikki is on one side of the table, and I'm on the other side of the table. So we're all talking, and I mean, this big, gigantic jumbo barbecue shrimp. And so then she's like, come on down here and sit with me, because everybody talking now. And so she pours us a glass of Zinfandel, and then it just began. She was just in her aura. She was just calm and cool, and it wasn't no pretense. And it was like, oh, this is my auntie, this is my big sister. And she told me stories about talking with Tupac and how prolific he was in his work, and then showed me her tattoo, Thug Life, right there on her arm. I was like, oh wow. And then we going through conversations, and she asking me about me and what I do, and then before we even end, she looks at me and she's like, Marla, I just need you to keep doing what you doing. What you do, I need you to keep doing it. And it just stuck. And so at that time, my little small company was Ebony Sun Urban Arts. And so it's just took off to like 3-4 poetry readings and events a week, to now it's Ebony Sun produces a radio show on KAZI. And I have the poets come on the radio, and you can hear us all over the world. And I was just too excited to play Nikki Giovanni's poetry on the radio Friday, giving it up to her. And it's like, when the legend goes, it just hits you hard. But I just had that blessing and that privilege to meet her. And what a beautiful person she was. And I met her after she survived cancer. You couldn't even tell. She had her hair colored. She's like, yeah, they told me to do it like this, and I won't look all pale in the face. She was just beautiful, just beautiful. And if you've never met any of your sheroes or your heroes or those legends, it's a privilege too. I felt like it was a blessing to meet her, and for her to be like just regular people, because she is regular people, but somebody who then had to, she's fought in that, in the whole Black movement back in the 60s, being that advocate, being that woman with that strong voice. Oh my God, getting in trouble, being that rebel, and still being able to be a professor at the university over there. It was a blessing meeting her. So I don't know, I can't tell no more.
Well, thank you, Marla.
Yes,
thank you for taking time with me.